This story is told from the perspective of a male. This happened about 29 years ago. My brother, who we will call Marcus, our friend Big John, and myself were headed to an under 21 club about 30 miles away from where we lived. None of us were 21 yet, so it seemed like the only choice was to go to this club. I was driving my Pontiac J2000 hatchback. Big John was in the passenger seat and Marcus was in the back. It was nighttime in the fall, so it was nice and cool out. We were on the interstate heading north when a car started to tailgate us. Now when I say he was tailgating us, I mean I couldn't see his lights in my mirrors. He was that close. I slowed down on purpose so he would get the message to back off. He guns it around us and we look at him. It was one guy. He looked older, maybe late 40s. He drove past us, and then he got right in front of us, almost hitting my car. He then proceeded to jam on the brakes in front of us and go slow. At this point, we have no idea what this guy's problem was. We were moving quickly, not holding up traffic, and this clown seemed to want a confrontation. So I did what any young driver would do. I drove past him, got back in front of him, and extended my middle digit. Well, this guy's all upset now. He drives up next to us, his arms are flailing. It actually looked pretty funny at the time. And he was pointing for us to pull over. John is having a panic attack at this point, going, "Oh my God, we're going to die." My brother Marcus is egging the guy on now from the back seat, flipping him the bird and mouthing profanities to him. He picked up the bar that holds my hatchback open, and he was tapping it in his palm. The other driver's behavior turns wild, and he is swerving at us, swearing, and his spit flying all over the windshield. He's a real mess. So I decide we need to lose this guy. There are 3 of us and 1 of him. He must have a gun or something. I took the next exit and started heading east on a random road. He of course followed, which for some reason I didn't expect. We came up to a red light and he pulled alongside of us on our left, then proceeded to partially block out my car from the front. So now I have a car behind me, him on the left partially blocking me from the front, and my curb on my right. This maniac gets out of his car and he's running over towards my door. John pretty much has crapped his pants by now. I jumped the curb, which is not an easy thing to do in a Pontiac, and gunned it through the red light. The angry man ran back to his car and drove after us. He was driving a Toyota Camry and easily caught up to my bomb of a car. I pulled a U-turn in the middle of the street and he did the same. I made it through the yellow light and he, once again, ran the red light. We were speeding back towards the ramp of the highway. I told Marcus I was going to take the ramp at the very last second as the road rager was coming up on my left. Marcus leaned in the front row of the car and acted like he was giving me directions ahead by pointing. At the very last second, I swerved onto the ramp and the shit-stained driver next to us couldn't make the turn. We got back up on the highway and got off the next exit, and then got on the ramp heading back north on the highway. Eventually we made it to the club. I have no idea why that guy was so angry with us to begin with, but we never saw him again. This happened to me a few months ago. I was getting my girlfriend's tires changed at a tire shop. They told me to come back in an hour and it should be ready for pickup. I didn't want to wait in the waiting room, so I decided to walk to Walmart since I needed a few things anyway. Walmart was close by. I had to cross a busy street, then walk behind Target and down this side street to the side door of Walmart. This was probably around 4 p.m. It was still light out. I got across the street and onto the side road. I could see the store up ahead after about 5 minutes of walking. There was a Walmart trailer parked on the side of the road, parallel with the store. You know, the rear end of an 18-wheel rig. I noticed someone standing, rather hiding, under the trailer. I took out my EMT knife I always carry, just in case. This clown was definitely hiding and presumably up to no good. I got close to the trailer, still walking towards Walmart, when he darted out and yelled, "I need your phone, right now!" I calmly but firmly told him, that's not going to happen. He started to follow me, stating it was an emergency. I ignored him and kept walking into Walmart. I figured that would be the end of it. Wrong. I was grabbing some items I needed and I noticed this guy was just a few aisles away. The thought of alerting the security force crossed my mind, but I decided against it. He wasn't doing anything at the moment, just watching me. I went down the cleaning supplies aisle. Surely this guy wouldn't need anything from here, right? Apparently he needed a cleaner too. He came pretty close to me and I moved to the next aisle. I seemed to have lost him, so I went to pay for my items, and I went out the front door instead of the side. I'm heading back towards the tire store when I noticed the guy was about 50 feet or so behind me. I had to wait for a car to pass by so I could cross the entry to Target. I noticed he had something under his hoodie. I just got a quick glance, but it looked like a knife of some sort. As I was about to start crossing the road, the guy started to power walk towards me. He stopped dead in his tracks when he saw a police cruiser coming his way. I made it across the street and I looked back and the officer had him up against his car. I'm not sure what happened or what that guy really wanted besides my phone, but that was the last I saw of him. This story happened to my girlfriend and I a few months ago while hiking. Victoria and I were hiking in a state park nearby in the late afternoon. We had done a few of the trails and saw some great scenery along the way. There were rock formations, lots of woods, plenty of deer and other woodland creatures, and a cliff that overlooked an old train bridge. Looked really cool. It was around 5 p.m.-ish in the fall and it was starting to get dark. We found the old train tunnel. We decided to go through the tunnel, which would lead to the train bridge. We could then take the road back to the truck, so we started into the tunnel. It was pitch black except for what little daylight was left at the end of the tunnel. We kept hearing noises coming from further in the tunnel. We did not have any flashlights except for the ones that come with your phones these days. We continued on and we heard what sounded like laughter. We stopped for a minute. "Did you hear that?" asked Victoria. I told her I did hear it. I asked her if she wanted to go back the way we came and she declined. We continued forward on high alert. Just so you all know, I have horrible vision from far away. I was straining to see if I could see anything or anyone. After about 3 or 4 minutes, we were in the middle of the tunnel. I shined a light from my phone and did not see anyone. We both then heard shh. We froze. I looked around but could not see anyone. It sounded like it came from right where we were standing. We picked up the pace and we were coming to the end of the tunnel. We could barely tell, but it was now dark out. We exited the tunnel and we were on the old train bridge. We saw someone moving near the railing. The next thing we see is a man, dressed in all black, run up the bridge, run across the top, then back down the other side. Now this railing is steep to climb up, and this guy ran up it. The picture you see on the screen is the actual bridge. Yes, he ran up that, and across, then back down. He was laughing like a maniac the entire time. We got across the bridge, and made our way back to the car. I'm not sure where he went, he just disappeared after that. Thanks for listening, guys, I really appreciate it. I'll have more videos coming soon. Please feel free to subscribe and leave a comment and like. I will see you soon.